The Cleveland Cavaliers, man. 3-1 deficit, and they get absolutely destroyed in game 4 versus the Indiana Pacers. The final score kind of saves you guys. If you didn't watch this game, 129 to 109. A 20-point loss does not excuse or explain the things that happened in this first half, even in the third quarter. I mean, if we just look at box score, Garland 21 and 6 in 27 minutes, best player of the game. Donovan Mitchell, who had been averaging 40 like 2 in this series, 12 points in 20 minutes. I do believe he did not come back in the second half. Once the first half ended, he we never saw him again. Um I don't know what his status is, but not a great game. I mean, Mobley 10, DeAndre Hunter 5, Jarrett Allen 2 points. I mean, awful. I mean, even Indiana, if you look at that, Siakam 21 points in 21 minutes, Miles Turner 20 points in 22 minutes, Obi Toppin 20 points in 21 minutes. TJ McConnell had 13, Halliburton 11, Ben Shepherd had 14. Hey, James Johnson scored again. So you know how the game went if James Johnson is getting buckets. But it was disgusting. I mean, for the whole game, Cavs had 22 turnovers, Pacers had 10, and a lot of those turnovers came later in the game when all the scrubs were in. Because when I checked when the starters were about to exit, it was like only 7 turnovers. But I mean, 42% from the field, 40% from three for Cleveland doesn't seem too bad, but 30 for 70 are the splits. And then you look at Indiana, 49 for 93. How do you let a team take 23 more shots than you in a game? They took the same amount of threes, but the Pacers made one more, and the Cavaliers had 35 for 40 on free throws, while the Pacers were 16 for 20. There's no excuse. There's literally no excuse to why you got like the turnovers was horrible. I mean, turnover count, like everybody had at least two that mattered. Jared Allen had two. Ty Jerome, who'd been awful in this series, three turnovers. DeAndre Hunter, three. Donovan Mitchell, two. Mobley, two. Okoro, two. Jalen Tyson, two. Max Strus, two. Garland, three. Just everybody was just turning the ball over, and it was disgusting. I mean, when I texted Worlds, who I do hoops all in with, um, it was 80 to 39 at halftime. The Cavs field goals were eight. They shot 8 for 32, and the Pacers were 30 for 50. The Pacers almost shot. The Pacers almost made more field goals than Cleveland attempted. It's ridiculous. They had 12 turnovers in the first 20 minutes. And again, they were down by more points than they had in the game. Again, 80 to 39, down by 41. It that was maybe the most disgusting half of basketball I have watched. That was worse than the game OKC just blew out Denver by 40 points, worse than the OKC versus Memphis 50-point blowout, worse than the Cleveland and Miami 50-point blowout. This was the worst half of basketball I have ever seen. And for it to come from a team like Cleveland, whose back is already against the wall, and you go down 3-1 to Indiana, who is a fantastic team. They have proved that time and time again, even though they are slept on. They were in the conference finals last year, but they have just proven to show that depth matters because I mean Cleveland on paper seems like a deep team, but like they're real good players off the bench. DeAndre Hunter, Ty Jerome, who sucked in this game or in this series as a whole, and then that's really it. I mean, Sam Morril sometimes give you something, but he only had 2 points today. Dean Wade not like Tristan Thompson played 12 minutes. Again, a lot of these players are playing at the end of this game because it's a blowout, but you're not really getting anything off the bench other than, DeAndre Hunter. And I mean, your Max Strus starts, so I don't know. It's bad, but I mean, down 3-1. I don't know the exact number on how many teams have come back down 3-1. I know some have, and it happens more in recent times than it does now. But what does Cleveland do? You get a 64 win season and you go out in the second round, maybe in 5 games, when you were the overwhelming favorite in this. You were like, there was no question you were the favorite in this. And granted, if you were watching this and you're a Cavs fan, or if you're not a Cavs fan and you're just not a Celtics fan, I very well might be making this exact same video for Boston tomorrow because they play the Knicks tomorrow at 7:30 and we are also down 2-1. So I might be making the same video for my favorite team tomorrow. But this just I don't know. I don't know what Cleveland does. Ty Jerome's gonna probably get. Although before I guess, I'm gonna pull up what their salary situation looks like. So everybody that's wrapped up guaranteed for next season is Darius Garland, Mitchell, Hunter, Jared Allen, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade. Oh no. Oh, Dean Wade is as well. Jalen Tyson is. That's really it. In Jalen Tyson's like rookie, second year player, maybe. But like Ty Jerome not wrapped up, and he's gonna get some money in the off season. Sam Morrill not wrapped up. And I mean that's really it, but I don't know. There's not really many moves you can make unless you're just saying, "Hey, I mean, you extended Jared Allen, but maybe do you believe in Evan Mobley being the full-time center?" And I don't know if you want to do that. Jared Allen's one of the most reliable centers that you have or that the league has just because of how, like solid and how he doesn't miss too much time and everything. And he's so valuable, but I don't know what else you try and move other than him because again, you just acquired DeAndre Hunter. You're not moving Mitchell. You're probably not moving Garland, who's still young. Mobley just won Defensive Player of the Year. You're not moving him. Ones you have to pay him, especially. I don't know. Jared Allen might be if they do need to make drastic moves. Which, if you flake out in the second round badly like this, then you're gonna have to. Um, Now, maybe if they take the series to 7 and lose by a close game, then maybe it's like, okay, we just got to do some moves around the edge. But 64 win team and you're out in the second round, not a good sign. But getting off the Cavs, I mean, shout out to the Pacers again. Pacers, they weren't expected to make the conference finals last year. Sure, they went up against an injured Bucks team last year in the first round. I don't think Giannis played at all. They end up winning. They went against a Knicks team who eventually was really hurt. OG really wasn't playing. Julius Randle wasn't there. Jalen Brunson broke his hand. And you were kind of just playing against like Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and Hartenstein. But then you got to the Celtics, and that was, the series that they got swept in. But I mean, getting back, they're one game away from getting back, and the Cavs, they have to win. Um, they have to win the next three of the last 3 games. There's no room for error for Cleveland anymore. At least you tie the series 2-2. You're going back home. Maybe even if you lose game 5, then it's 3-2, but it's not as bad as 3-1. But I mean, we just talked about it. We just put out the Hoops All In episode a couple hours ago from when you're going to see this. All these series between Minnesota, Golden State, what was Cleveland and Indiana and Celtics Knicks, they are must wins for every team. Like the Pacers, it's a must win, so they don't give Cleveland a chance to come back in this series, but it's a must win for Cleveland so they can get back in the series. And it's the same for those other series. Then but instead of the Pacers, it's the Knicks. Instead of the Cavs, it's the Celtics, and so on and so forth. But um it's not a great, even the other games today, which I'm not going to talk about too much in this video. Thunder tied it up 2-2 against the Nuggets, which is what you had to do. And that wasn't really the greatest game either, but I mean, Cleveland, I don't know. I would be hurt if I was Cleveland fan, man, because you're the best team in the league. You're the best team in the East. 97% of other seasons, you're the best team in the league. If OKC doesn't become one of the best teams of all time, winning 68 wins, but I mean, I don't know. It's almost like I'm a Cavs fan and I'm like completely shocked by how this went. But I'm not. I'm a Celtics fan, and I shouldn't feel sympathy for Cleveland because that's who I thought was we were going to play. And again, I'm not saying this like Boston is doing anything great right now because they're not by any means. And again, I might be making the same exact video tomorrow night, but um great win for the Pacers to just put their foot on their necks and make them, take over. Take over and show that this is your series and you most likely will be heading back to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now you got to go win one in Cleveland. Don't slack off if you're Indiana. Don't get comfortable because you're up 3-1. Go and give them a good fight back at home. And if you can't do that, at least win it back in 6. That's all I can say. But Cleveland, you've got some things to do if this series ends how it's looking right now. But that's it. Again, go watch. We just put out the Hoops All In main episode a couple hours ago. We go in depth more about this, not about this game because it just finished, but all the series so far, and especially if you want to see Celtics and Knicks talk, that was the series we talked about the most since that is both of our teams. But that's all. Let me know below what you think.